So I did a video a while back talking about how spoilers should not matter if in fact you are watching a good movie. The proof that I used for that argument involved an old Life magazine that I have in my possession that featured a piece on the classic film The Godfather before it even had its theatrical release. And in that article, the entire plot of the film was revealed. That included twists, deaths, and even the final outcome of the film. It was literal proof that once upon a time, spoilers did not matter to audiences. I mean, this was being printed in a major publication for everyone to see. Revealing the entire plot of this film did not deter people from wanting to watch it. It didn't even lessen the impact that the film would eventually have. And that's because I believe there was a time when the execution of a story was much more important than what actually happened in that story.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Now, I understand this was different times and information wasn't as readily available as it is now. And I'm willing to bet that not everyone was even reading Life magazine at the time. But I do believe it says something that that story was allowed to be printed at all. Because the studio, the director, nobody was worried about this information getting out. Was it because they had confidence in the film to succeed anyway? Maybe not. There was a lot of uncertainty around The Godfather if you do research on it. But I do think it was an interesting snapshot of a time when film discussion was very different. Bottom line, I do think modern films, and by extension, modern audiences, have become too obsessed with spoilers, cameos, and surprises in their films. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So Ryan Reynolds came out recently and delivered a message via Instagram for fans of his upcoming Deadpool 3. And the message was pretty simple. Do not spoil the film.
That makes sense.
A message that I see a lot of people echoing when it comes to these major releases, because they believe that if too much is revealed about a movie they are looking forward to, it's going to ruin the experience for them. A lot of photos and information coming directly from the set of Deadpool 3 has now leaked online. These leaks are giving away some character cameos and the potential storyline of the film. And of course, its connections to both the MCU and Fox X-Men universes. Ryan Reynolds expressed his discomfort with these secrets being shared when he posted this on Instagram. Quote, "Surprises are part of the magic of theatrical movies. It's important for us to shoot the new Deadpool in real, natural environments, using effects as opposed to making the movies indoors digitally. Telephoto lenses continue to spoil surprises and create a difficult situation for everyone. Here's hoping some of the websites and social channels hold back showing images until they are ready. The film is built for audience joy, and our highest hope is to preserve as much of that magic as possible for the finished film and the big screen. Part of the reason people post spoilers is because they're excited."
Shut up. Get out.
I want to start this off by saying, even though I'm the type of person who doesn't really care about spoilers, I would never go out of my way to spoil a film for anyone. This video that I'm making right now is not about my desire to share spoilers and ruin a film for anyone. It's more about why we have become so obsessed with spoilers when it comes to film discussion. I also take no pleasure in ruining someone's hard work. There are a lot of people working on movies like this that were not involved with developing the story for the film. And I do understand wanting to protect their work until it's finished. I also have to give Ryan Reynolds, the crew, and even the studio, as much as I don't want to, some credit for shooting this film on location. Too often than not, we have filmmakers recreating actual locations digitally. Spider-Man No Way Home. Excuse me. And that, in effect, tends to make these films look like shit.
You about to cross some lines.
Guys,
It should also be noted that these type of on-set leaked photos happen all the time, and normally nobody bats an eye. The issue with it happening for Deadpool 3's production is that, according to Ryan Reynolds, it's giving away surprises. And here is my issue with that.
And here we
Go.
Because I now have to ask the question, will this movie be just another modern comic book movie? That is, will it be too reliant on Easter eggs, cameos, and references? This entire Instagram post feels like it's Ryan Reynolds saying that this is a huge aspect of this film, maybe the biggest aspect of this film. And to ruin that would ruin the film overall. So I have to question whether or not the story, which is what should carry the film, is going to be up to snuff. The problem with a lot of these multiverse movies is that story takes a back seat to spectacle. And to be clear, I'm not saying that movies can't have surprises. I understand how having a surprise here and there enhances the experience for some people. But in order for this to be considered a great movie, it has to be more than that. If spoilers and leaks are going to ruin Deadpool 3, then there's a chance that this movie isn't as good as everyone wants it to be overall.
It's true.
Now, I've said from the start that while a lot of people seem to think that Deadpool 3 will be the movie that saves Marvel, I find that notion to be not only hypocritical, but also far-fetched if you consider what the MCU is currently producing. I find it ironic that the MCU is now relying on Fox characters to save its brand, when for years people told me that the Fox Marvel films, and more specifically the Fox X-Men films, were inferior. And now all of a sudden people are excited to have these characters back because they are under the MCU banner. And I'm sorry, but that is a huge red flag for me personally.
My, how the tables have turned.
The second part to this is that I don't have a lot of confidence in Disney Marvel to do these characters justice. And most notably, I'm talking about Deadpool and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I have a lot of concern in particular over how Wolverine is going to be used in the film. It's already been stated that this is going to be a very different Wolverine than what we've seen before, and Disney Marvel putting him in the suit honestly just feels like desperation to me at this point. I just have this awful feeling in the pit of my stomach that this film will somehow ruin what's already been established about the character. I don't know if I'm willing to go full-on character assassination yet, but would it be that hard to believe if that in fact does end up happening?
Go fuck yourself, pretty boy.
Disney has made a living, albeit not a great one, on bringing back beloved characters and tearing them down. I think Spider-Man No Way Home, for all its flaws, may be the one exception to that. But even in that film, they do the typical Disney Marvel thing and crack jokes about certain character names and organic web shooters, and to me it just makes it all feel very disingenuous. I mean, none of that is major when you consider what Disney did to some other characters, most notably Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Indiana Jones.
Son of a bitch.
The point is that I don't have the same level of optimism that some people have about Deadpool 3, and that has a lot to do with it simply being under the Disney banner. I have to see otherwise before I believe they are capable of doing justice to legacy characters. And once again, I hope I'm wrong about all of this and that Deadpool 3 is awesome. I will be the first one to come on here and tell you that I was wrong. But when it comes right down to it, as it stands right now, Deadpool 3, to me, just feels like another multiverse movie. Light on story, heavy on spectacle.
Something very familiar about all this.
And the fact that Ryan Reynolds felt the need to publicly address something that happens all the time is a huge red flag again for me. At this point, where we find ourselves in the comic book movie genre, with audiences becoming disinterested, we need these films to do something different and make themselves stand out if this genre is to continue. They need to do something to make audiences want to support these films again, and in my opinion, cameos and Easter eggs aren't going to do that. Audiences have spoken recently, and I believe that they are saying they don't want the same old and they want something more. And if Deadpool 3 is going to leave its mark on the genre, then hopefully Ryan Reynolds and company are willing to give us a little bit more.
Y'all be cool. Shut up.